pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag of Michigan and to the state for which it stands, two beautiful peninsulas united by a bridge of steel, where equal opportunity and justice to all is our ideal.
Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Shippers?
Here.
Bowman?
Here.
Wolfile?
Here.
Reinhardt?
Here.
Mayor Filkins?
Here.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry, you could answer for me, I don't mind it.
Okay, if somebody could make a motion to approve the agenda, there is a slight change needed to that agenda.
Yeah, Mayor, members of the City Council, we kindly would request the addition of a closed session at the end of your agenda after good of the order to discuss a written confidential legal opinion from the City Attorney and to invite Jeff Dietland, our Utilities Director, and Bruce DeWitt, our City Engineer and Public Works Director, accordingly.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended to add a closed session item to discuss a written confidential legal opinion from our City Attorney and to invite Mr. Dietland to join us. Support.
And Mr. DeWitt?
And Mr. DeWitt.
Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bowman?
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Reinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Mayor Filkins?
Yes. Motion carries. This time we'll open the floor for public comment. We do ask if you come forward, if you would please say your name and then write your name and address for the clerk. And if you could keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
This is just a second on the Ricky's down here. My name's Randy Lindell. I live at 201 Howard Street, Cadillac, Michigan. I just got a few items I want to just bring up briefly. I was walking down in the new city park here the other day, and I was just checking out the nice facility, etc. And I was almost hit by a car by the ice rink about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They turned and I know it's a difficult situation down there now. And my main concern would be, we have a splash pad. The person did acknowledge me after they saw me and said, well, I didn't see you, forgive me. I was okay. But my main concern, down there now is the walking in the summertime and wintertime, for our young children and that. There could be safety issues there. With vehicles, we have a splash pad. And we have an ice rink, and we got a beautiful fireplace down there too that everybody enjoys. And maybe this is the first scenario that happened, but it was a little upsetting to me. But that happened though. But now I was worried about our young youth of the town. In the summertime, and I looked for cones tonight as I came or something to just signify, pedestrian area, but maybe it's just me, but I didn't see anything. And the second thing real quick is the garbage collection sites down there in the city parking lots. I see 2 of them at Harris and Cass Street, and they're kind of unsightly. And now are those city, I'll have to ask someone later on, but are those, that looks like that's on city property. Who's paying for that? They're tall structures. Even as I walk down Main Street and come off Cass and I go towards the city park, you see these tall boards and all that. And, it takes away the whole view there. So if anybody gets time. So those are a few of the issues I wanted to bring up. And who pays for that garbage pickup? Is it city? No, okay, the business too, but that on city property, though, but, those are a couple of things I noticed there. And, my main concern is the safety for the children and adults too, because I was almost hit by a vehicle down there. And again, if there was orange cones or, some cities have pedestrian crossings, yield, etc. And I'm gonna look again after I leave in that too. So, and then just one more quick comment. I know that, there's no public hearing on it yet for the Public Housing Commission for their 3% raise, but I would like to see that not happen, no raises. I believe that the citizens of Cadillac, they deserve a property tax rate cut, if that's ever feasible, and I think that's important. So those are just a couple of my issues, and I just want to express my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
And hopefully we get a new picture of our president up here shortly.
Okay.
President Donald Trump. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no one else, we'll close public comment and move to the approval of the consent agenda. This evening, we have the minutes from the regular meeting that was held on December 19th, along with the minutes from our closed session on December 19th.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Sandy, could we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Mayor Filkins?
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, so that takes us to our public hearing this evening.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. Due to the meeting cancellation that we had last week over hazardous weather conditions, we need to actually renotice the public hearing that we would have had last week. So we're basically asking the City Council to reboot that process, and I want to make sure I have the right date. Yes, and so to set the new public hearing for February 20th, which is your next regularly scheduled meeting in February.
It's our next meeting?
Second to the next one.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry.
we have one on the...
Yeah, we have to make sure that we have all the publications noticed in the paper, so.
I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution to reschedule the public hearing in ordinance 2017-01 to approve easement for electrical facilities and set a public hearing for February 20th, 2017.
Support.
Stereo sound. Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes?
Spelman?
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Mayor Filkins?
Yes. Motion carries. With that, this evening we have a communication.
Being requested for the closure of Chestnut Street between Lake and Linden from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on February 4th, 2017 for the Oasis FRC Polar Dip.
Might not have any ice to cut.
A lot of people
Jump
might be
in.
dipping.
But I suppose I could still dip, couldn't I?
You could. It'll still be mighty cold.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve the closure of Chestnut Street between Lake and Linden from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on February 4th, 2017 for the Oasis FRC Polar Dip. Support.
Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman? Yes. Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Filkins?
Yes. Motion carries. And with that, this evening we have several appointments, reappointments.
Yes, it's, we need to appoint a regular and alternate member to the Board of Review for a one-year term to expire on January 7th, 2018.
Is that a council appointment?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I think,
Matt and John are...
Yeah, we were, I
yeah,
was the alternate and John was
Yeah.
on there. So,
how's that working for you?
I haven't heard it.
It's working really well.
All right.
Are you guys comfortable continuing?
Yeah.
Able to accommodate that again?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
That'd be
I'd be
awesome.
willing to continue, just, like we have. No problem.
I'll make a motion to appoint Councilmember Wolfile as the regular board member and Councilmember Meinhardt as the alternate member to the Board of Review. Support. For a one-year term to expire January 7, 2018.
Now.
I get to vote on that.
Yeah, now you get to vote
I
on
get
it.
to vote on myself, good.
Councilmember Spelman.
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Being recommended to approve the reappointment of Charles LaBarre to the Cemetery Board for a 3-year term to expire on January 1st, 2020.
I'll make a motion to approve the reappointment of Charles LaBarre to the Cemetery Board for a 3-year term expiring January 1, 2020.
Support.
Councilmember Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries.
It's also being requested to approve the reappointment of Fred Osborne to the Cadillac Wexford Airport Authority for a 2-year term to expire on February 7th, 2019.
All right, I'll make that motion to approve the reappointment of Fred Osborne to the Cadillac Wexford Airport Authority for a 2-year term to expire on February 7, 2019. Support.
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries.
Next recommendation is to approve the reappointment of Mike Filiomeni to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for a 3-year term to expire on January 21st, 2020.
I'll make that motion to approve the reappointment of Mike Filiomeni to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority for a 3-year term to expire on January 21st, 2020. Second.
Councilmember Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries.
Also being requested to approve the reappointment of Larry Bontrager to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 3-year term to expire on January 1st, 2020.
I'll make the motion to approve the reappointment of Larry Bontrager to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 3-year term to expire on January 1st, 2020.
Support. Is that the right date?
Yes. We corrected it.
Okay.
Councilmember Spelman?
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries.
It's also being requested to approve the reappointment of Jill Brown to the Cadillac Historic Districts Commission for a 3-year term to expire on December 31st, 2019.
Right, I'll make a motion to approve the reappointment of Joe Brown to the Cadillac Historic District Commission for a 3-year term expiring on December 31st, 2019. Support.
You've been doing that a long time.
Yeah, since 2005.
Yeah.
Councilmember Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries. Yes, I was just noticing when we went through here that two of these gentlemen, Mike Filiomeni has been serving in the Brownfield since 2005, and Larry Bontrager has been serving since 2003, so that's wonderful. Okay, so the next thing on our agenda this evening is the city manager's report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. The first item under the City Manager's report is a request from the Cadillac Housing Commission regarding a change in their compensation. This is somewhat of a housekeeping type of a request that comes forward on an annual basis. The city, as described previously, acts as a fiduciary for the Housing Commission and is required to take official action for these types of requests. These are not monies that come from our general coffers. The request this year is approved by their board, the Housing Commission, at their December 12th meeting, is for a 3% compensation increase across the board. And our Housing Director, Judy Myers, is here if you have any explicit questions for her. Otherwise, the recommendation would be to approve it as their board has advocated.
But Judy, do you want to tell us where your funding comes from?
Yes, I certainly would. We get operating funds from the federal government and capital improvement funds from the federal government. None of this comes from your budget.
And then, of course, the rent, right?
And rents, of course, rents. And we have 3 cell phone towers on our roof at Kirtland Terrace, of which we gain a nice monthly rent charge from them.
Very nice.
Things are going along well at the Housing Commission. If you haven't noticed, we got new windows at Kirtland Terrace last year, and it has improved our energy efficiency quite a bit. This year, our capital funds are going into new kitchen cupboards at Cornerstone.
Nice. Well, we appreciate the work you do there.
And we appreciate you.
I'll make a motion to approve the compensation change request from the Cadillac Housing Commission as presented.
Support.
Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. This next item is also one that perhaps will be familiar to you. It's the annual request for the outdoor sidewalk cafes, which means that winter must be coming to an end, or end is in sight, hopefully.
Definitely is.
All right, we have to be optimistic about that. This is a request from both the Clam Lake Beer Company and Herman's European Cafe. They both requested approval for the placement of sidewalk cafes in front of their businesses in downtown Cadillac. There are 2 conditions that, again, are customary that we've also had in place before. One, they have to follow our Code of Ordinances as it relates to sidewalk cafes, which is Section 46-395. They have to provide us with a site plan and proof of insurance. Your packet does provide a copy of that site plan. Additionally, they must acquire the needed permit through the state of Michigan. Mitchell Street is MDOT right-of-way, as is the sidewalk. So the staff recommendation this evening would be to approve the requests from both Clam Lake Beer Company and Herman's European Cafe for them to have sidewalk cafes in front of their businesses in 2017.
If I may, last summer I had a few calls regarding the commons and accessibility. And I know that Mike Coy went down and he said that you can get through, but it wasn't like a straight shot through, because it was also sandwich time or something. And I gotta say that having been in a wheelchair, that if I get to a corner and I see something that's in the way, even if I might be able to maneuver around it, I wouldn't go halfway down the block to make sure I could. I'd cross and then go, because otherwise you're going there and back and then around. So I don't know if there's anything that we can, even if you can get through, it doesn't look like you can from the corner, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, because I went down and checked too, and walking, yeah, you can get around it. But like I said, you know, it's halfway down the block, and, you know, every is it
just a matter of moving the
sandwich
sandwich?
time? I think it's the sandwich time
kind of
that's the
easy.
issue.
Or just a different placement or something.
I know that we went out and measured the sidewalks to make sure that they are wide enough.
Yeah.
I have that they're about 16 feet wide, between 16 and 17 feet wide, so it's plenty of space to accommodate you know, the
signage.
cafe and the wheelchair accessibility, but you're right, if there's a temporary storage board that
Right.
goes in your line of sight, it may create...
That's right, you're just like, not that street, and, yeah, so, I don't know if there's anything...
Well, we can,
work.
you know, it'll have to be, there'll have to be something on an ongoing basis. If the sandwich board gets put out there, which it probably will, there's one out there in the winter now as
Sure.
well, that we ask that it get moved from not being right in the line of sight from...
Well, and maybe they need,
Somebody's regular route.
and maybe they need two, one on either side of the tables at the same spot in the sidewalk as the tables,
Yeah,
so they could be seen from both directions.
that would be a really nice thing to do. I don't think it would, does, because it is accessible,
Mhm.
so, but if there's some way to,
Okay,
thanks.
that's a good idea. Okay, does someone want to make that motion?
All right, I'll make the motion to approve the request from Clam Lake Beer Company and Herman's European Cafe for sidewalk cafes in 2017 in accordance with the two conditions that are noted.
Support.
Sandy, could we have the roll call?
Councilmember Shippers,
Yes.
Spelman,
Yes,
Wolfile,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Okay. Mayor, members of the City Council, we're now under the introduction of ordinances and resolutions. This first and only item under this section is a request to set a public hearing for February 6th, 2017 regarding an amendment to our utilities ordinance that provides essentially the ability for there to be an administrative waiver of late fees if people meet a certain condition. And so it's a very short sentence I'd like to just read publicly as to what I'm referring to. The amendment would state the following: notwithstanding the foregoing, and the foregoing would be section 42-206C. If a regular user has paid its charges on a timely basis each month for a continuous 12-month period, then the Utilities Department may waive one late fee per continuous 12-month period, but such waiver is permitted only if the regular user charges are paid within 3 business days after the applicable due date. It doesn't happen all that often, but from time to time we do get folks that are habitually very good on paying their bills on time every month for even periods of time greater than a year. But every now and then, it's rare, but a user will slip up and will ask for leniency, however we can't grant it. And so this would be able to give us that authority to waive that fee if we had a user that came in within 72 hours of a due date that has a clean record, if you will, for a year, consecutive 12-month period, and where we could help out. So it's a good customer service opportunity.
absolutely.
I think it is.
Nobody likes late fees, especially when you're so conscientious about getting bills in, and they do slip every once in a while. So I appreciate us going this extra effort to be able to accommodate the occasional period when this happens.
Absolutely.
And so again, tonight, we're just looking at setting the public hearing.
Oh, yes. Thanks for that reminder, too.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution to introduce ordinance to amend utilities ordinances to provide prompt payment incentives and set a public hearing for February 6th, 2017.
Support.
Sandy?
Councilmember Spelman,
Yes.
Wolfile,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Shippers,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. We do have a couple of items under adoption of ordinances and resolutions. The first item is the adoption of a resolution that I think I reported on about a year ago we were not going to see again. We were advised about a year ago we needed to make a change in the form that MDOT provided to the city regarding their performance resolution, and that once it was done, that was going to be it. However, Sandy received a correspondence from MDOT saying that the Attorney General revised the form again, and now everyone needs to re-sign it. So,
I roll.
yep. So we're before you again. And I'm not going to say I don't think it's coming back because of this, but we do need the council to authorize the resolution as provided to us from the state of Michigan.
All right, I'll make a motion to adopt the performance resolution for governmental agencies as presented.
Support.
Councilmember Wolfile?
Yes.
Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries.
The next request is another resolution. This resolution is with respect to the acceptance of easements and other related documents. The easements and other related documents pertain to both easements that we need for infrastructure conveyed to us from the Hop Family LLC. That's the company that owns the new mobile gas station in Tim Hortons business on M55 and 131. The other easement and related documents pertains to the Terry D. LLC company. This is all pursuant to the development agreement that the city has with both of these parties. This is standard protocol. Once the developers build and install the infrastructure, they have to convey it back to the city. This is not a one and done situation this evening. There will still be the conveyance of other related infrastructure such as Terry D. Boulevard once all the I's have been dotted and T's are crossed with that part of the project. But at this point, this does cover, I believe, Jeff, one lift station, right?
Yep. It covers all the water that has been installed to date, all the sewer that's been installed to date, and the lift station, and it gives us access to that infrastructure. Otherwise, we would be trespassing without the easement, so they're giving it to us.
And this can all be done with resolution.
Yes. There are other restrictions under your charter. Those involve the sale or interest in property, not the acceptance of easements.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution to accept easements and other related documents. Support.
Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Meinhardt?
Yes.
Shippers?
Yes.
Spelman?
Yes.
Wolfile?
Yes.
Mayor Folkins?
Yes, motion carries. Okay, in our package this evening, we do have the minutes from the Historic District Commission's meeting from October 10th. And that takes us to the second public comment. Again, if you choose to come forward, we do ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment. And does anyone have anything for the good of the order this evening?
Well, I guess I'd like to mention we have the upcoming North American Snow Festival next week, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, I believe are the dates. Going to be a lot of great events, a lot of great entertainment, and so it's going to be held in the Cadillac Commons, kind of a new arrangement for that, so I just would encourage people to come down and enjoy the surroundings, enjoy all the entertainment that's going to take place
There's
there.
going to be some pretty fantastic entertainment on Thursday night, I heard.
Well, hopefully.
I think that the word should go out that it's going to be held whether we have snow or not, at least that
Oh, that's-
portion of it.
yeah.
Everything under the tent at the Commons will go on as planned.
And children's concert. There's lunch and littles at the Congregational Church that's part of the NASS. And they're going to help transporting folks over there, and it's a pizza lunch and a concert with another band we know about. So there's going to be some really fun things happening. I'm glad it's downtown. Glad it's here.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice new arrangement. So, as much as I hate to say this, and I'll get booed for it, we need a little bit of cold weather. We need a little bit of cold weather for the lake.
Take care of those safety concerns.
And then it can get warm.
Yeah, it's too early for it to be spring. Seriously.
I have a question to put in front of Marcus and council, or with comments that I have received more than one, a couple different complaints about the quality of the broadcast. And I've kind of narrowed it down to, at least with one person, they think it's not the live broadcast of our meetings, but when it's being played back. And I don't know if that's a hint to what's going on, but have you had a chance to...
I did. The system needs to be upgraded to a high-definition system and an upgrade to the sort of antiquated soundboard or video board that we're using in the back. We have a idea of a cost estimate. It's several $1,000s, but less than 10. It's within my spending authority, but now I'm just trying to figure out where I can patch the money together, and we'll be able to make that improvement. I don't want to get a date certain out yet because I don't really know how long it'll take to acquire the equipment. It's all being or will be done through CCTV people that we have, and perhaps a sub that they may bring in to help with some of the technical pieces. But once we make that upgrade, it should eliminate all of the audio buzzing and humming sounds that you see or hear on playback, whether it's through your television and the cable broadcast, or even if it's through watching it on social media or through the CCTV website live, or when it's streamed, on demand. It should eliminate all of those playback and audio issues. So,
good. Thank you for that report.
I also wanted to, Randy just left, but I wanted to comment on the garbage collection down in our new plaza. What those two structures did is that it hid all of the garbage collection that was going on behind the building. So it really is a wonderful improvement to, what was there. We still have a little bit of landscaping to do around them, but there was a good deal of thought put into those structures to make it look nice with the rest of the plaza.
And we're not paying.
We are not. That's all being taken care of by the businesses in that block.
All the removal services are under the private arrangements with businesses in that block. They're just simply using the enclosure space that's been provided.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
And I was going to say, in regards to the safety concern, that parking lot has always been a safety concern, because people used to be able to just drive straight through it very quickly. And so I think that it's a lot safer than it used to be, and where the splash pad is and where the ice skating rink is, there is it's on the plaza. It's separated from the parking area. So people do still need to be careful when they're in the parking lot. But
I'm not sure as I sit here tonight if the signs are up. I think they may be, but there are some pedestrian...
I noticed them.
Okay.
Yeah, they are up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're up on...
They were unless somebody...
Yeah, unless someone put them down.
But they were where it's yield to pedestrian. But you can't see a crosswalk or nothing, but still, if there's two signs that say yield to pedestrians,
and there's a grade change as well, so we created a hump so that people had to slow down in order to cross over from one lot to the other.
Right. Yeah, I think one of his points is that we're going to have an increased number of people down there, so.
yeah.
So if you're
We've got to
driving
be
in those
really
parking lots,
hyper-vigilant about it, and figure out if there is a safety issue, how we might be able to address it. But thanks for the heads up on that.
Yeah. And Marcus, were we able to take care of placing that garbage collection canister by the fireplace?
There are, I believe, two that are out
Wonderful.
there right now.
Okay.
So, they are not, the ones that are out there right now are not the new ones. We want to wait till spring before we drop the newer ones down, but there are a couple that are out there currently.
Good. Thank you.
are the shovels still there?
Yep,
I knew it.
all three.
Wow, that's great.
I did it.
Somebody asked me about that.
Yeah.
I told them, so if you want to go skating, you can shovel it off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's, if I could just carry on with that thought for just a moment, to say publicly, we're all very proud of this incredible new place that we've created for people. But we all need to try to help out. We have staff that come on their own time and actually shovel, the synthetic rink, and we've left those shovels there. We do have clips for them, but sometimes they're just left sort of on the ground. But it's for anyone, if they're there, and if they see that there's any snow or ice that should be moved, I mean, we're encouraging people to go out there and try to push it away. Likewise, we have some cans out there now. If there's loose trash, please feel free to pick them up and just deposit it in the garbage can.
I also wanted to mention to the council this evening, I had been having a conversation with one of the new commissioners, county commissioners, and there was some discussion about getting the council members and the commissioners together to kind of brainstorm on needs and things in the community and the county that we might work together on. And my head sort of went a little bit beyond that, and remember the visioning session that we had for the Cobbs and Mitchell building over at the school? And there was an organization that helped us with that facilitated that for us. And Marcus and I are going to be having lunch with that organization to see if they would come in and facilitate a session, not here or at the county, but out at Baker College. I've already talked to Kelly. But have a session where the county commissioners, the city council, and then all of the township supervisors and the people from the cities within Wexford County, that we might all sit down and just have some conversation and throw some things up that we might need help with, and maybe come up with some ideas on who are the right people to put together to work on some of these things and get to know each other a little bit better. And I thought that would be a really good thing to do. Would you guys think so too?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we're going to meet with a couple weeks from now to have the discussion about what that might look like. And then I'll or Marcus can give you guys an update, and we could send out the invitations to all of those people. Sit down and do that. So,
You can do it on a school day.
no, I won't. No, it would be in an evening. Yeah.
So we'd have to schedule it as a meeting?
It depends on how it's framed. If it's an event that's being facilitated by our regional council of governments, and even if we do inviting or they do inviting, but to come and hear about the issues that are impacting our area, our county, then I would say no. If we're looking at trying to host a meeting ourselves and actually conduct business, then it's a different story. So it's not unlike when the city council participates with many other city councils across the state at municipal conventions, and those are not public meetings, right? You're attending an educational.
But we have a quorum there, right?
As does
every other city.
Every other city
right.
as well.
And I really don't envision this as being us conducting any business. I envision this as just simply being a brainstorming session so that we can all understand kind of what's going on, and historically everybody's in their own silos doing what they do, but times are changing, and so, maybe it gives us the opportunity to check out, with the Michigan Municipal League, and then the county could check with their groups that they belong to and see what's going on outside of Wexford County where people have had these sorts of discussions and have found the opportunity to work together on something. So I don't envision it being a working meeting, but rather a educational thing.
To be determined.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Okay. If no one has anything else, okay, then we will be adjourning to closed session, so we'll need a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss a written confidential legal opinion from the city attorney, invite Jeff Dietland, Director of Utilities, and Bruce DeWitt, Director of Public Works and Engineering, to go with us.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers,
Yes.
Spelman,
Yes.
Wolfile,
Yes.
Meinhardt,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carried.